Good afternoon, everyone. Stephen Cooper, Sika Tile. Got John McIntyre, Technical Manager, Sika Tile. We're gonna demo a couple of products today. We've got our 825 epoxy, new to the market, only been around for about 3 years here in the US. We're gonna show you some tips and techniques here with John today, things to just help you benefit and make things go a little bit faster and smoother for you.
You'll have 2 part A's, 2 part B's, and 2 part C's, which is the colored aggregate. So you have your resin, your hardener, and the actual colored quartz aggregate. As far as mixing the product, you always want to mix your A and your B until you get a homogeneous color. It's going to look like a milky amber. So we'll start with the mixing of these products. Very easy to use. You get yourself about 2.5 to 3 hour pot life, depending on the weather. Now you're going to notice on the part A here, the 2-pounder unit, it does have a little bit of polymers down at the bottom, a little thickening agent, and that makes it non-sag. So when you're doing it on the vertical, it's not falling out of your joint like your standard epoxies. Here is part B.
Part B is a little bit more fluid. You don't necessarily have to scrape it out. You're gonna just hold it over there, let it all run out.
Get yourself a paint mixer so you don't get all messy. And once you have it mixed up to that amber color, you go ahead and add the quartz. Add a little bit of dish soap to an empty bucket of water, and it'll clean your tools right off. So once you got your mix again, we're gonna mix it until we coat all the quartz with the epoxy resins. And before we apply our grout to the surface, we're gonna get a little bit of water. And most of the time you'll see guys, they'll just damp the surface a little bit to help it smooth. But if you see our mix is a little thicker than your standard epoxy mixes. It's almost like a play sand. So what you want to do is you want to activate the surfactants that do come in our product and be liberal with the water.
One of the other added benefits here is this is gonna sit in this bucket for well over 2 hours before it gets stiff. It's not gonna cook off, it's not gonna get hot like some of the other ones do.
When you first start spreading it, it feels a little thick, but once you start moving it around the water, it's gonna turn a little bit white. And it makes it a lot more pliable, a lot easier to work into the joints. The good thing about this is that you don't have to rush your job. You got about 2.5, 3 hours of working time. So as you see, the surfactants are activated and your black grout is turning white and gray in certain areas. That's nothing to be alarmed about. What's happening is the surfactants are coming out and they're just bubbling up. So it's basically soap. Once the soap dries, it'll wipe right away. I like using the Scrub Daddy, because with cold water, the Scrub Daddy is a little firmer, so it doesn't dig out your joints, but you can also use your standard white doodle bug.
See where it gets real white? That's all the surfactants taking place to make it to where when you're cleaning the grout, it's super easy, not hard. You know, you can see how forming the joints comes along nice and smooth with the Scrub Daddy. We're not worried about digging it out of the grout, out of the joint.
Now that you got the surfactants and the soap on the surface of the tile with your Scrub Daddy, you agitated it, it looks all white and foamy. I like getting a white square edge sponge and running it across at a 45 with even pressure, and it just wipes the soap and the epoxy right off. So even if you go and you rinse your sponge, try to take them out as much water as you can. Microfiber cloths are very absorptive and they work really well for this process, but also a regular sponge will do. And at this point you can kind of touch it and feel if it has any residue or epoxy on it, and it's just water now. It's clean. It's you still see a little bit of the soap in the surface of the grout, but as soon as that dries, it's going to go away. It's going to get jet black, and you'll have an awesome finish.